Good morning, Sunnyvale. We'll get started in just a second. Happy Friday. Good morning. How are you doing? Morning. Morning. Good morning, Sunnyvale. Welcome to my weekly virtual office hours. This week's early artwork is actually from Google's new project along Caribbean. So I love the new artwork and mural that's going in along Caribbean, right across from the Smart Station. So if you're dropping off some recycled goods or just in Moffett Park on your way to the Bay Trail, take a look around. It's definitely been impressive to see how Google has actually added a lot of art to their buildings. And so, and that's one of the things that we do from a city standpoint is we require, art and private development as part of all the big projects that are happening in the city, and our city projects included. But I really love all the color on these water towers, and definitely take a look if next time you are in Moffett Park. Let's go ahead and get started. Good morning. I'm Sunnyvale Mayor Larry Klein. Thank you for joining me again this week. It's been another busy week. This is the 182nd installment of my weekly virtual office hours. Hope everyone's doing well, enjoying our cooler evenings, and we'll finally be getting some rain this weekend. I've now reached 1,327 days since the March 16, 2020 county health order started the shelter in place in an attempt to slow the spread of COVID-19. And over 3 years ago, I converted my weekly coffee shop office hours into this weekly live stream address. And, people still say they enjoy hearing from their mayor each week, whether or not they're watching it live or watching it delayed. It's good for me to kind of take stock of what's happening in the last 2 weeks, and it allows me to provide you some words of encouragement and answer some of your questions, and just, for me, tell you all the fantastic things that are happening in the city. So thank you for allowing me to continue to work for you and represent Sunnyvale. And as far as most Fridays, I follow up this live stream session with in-person meetings at Bean Scene on Murphy Avenue. If you'd like to reserve a 15-minute or 30-minute slot, just email me and we can find the best time to meet. I actually had my office hours a day early this week. I had it yesterday at Bean Scene because I'm in meetings pretty much all day from about 9:30 to 5 p.m. tonight. So it's definitely a busy day for the mayor. But yeah, you can always see my calendar at larryklein.com, and that'll tell you how to email me to reserve a time slot. Okay, let's go ahead and get started and talk about what's happened at the federal, state, and county, and of course the city level over the last few weeks. Last Tuesday, council met and we had a long evening. I was actually remote because I was taking, let's say, a just cause remote meeting because I had become positive with COVID when I was returning from a visit to our Japanese sister city. So there were two council members, myself and council member Mellinger, that were remote that evening. But we started with a study session on guaranteed basic income. And this is a part of a study issue that we kicked off several years ago to talk about, what could be done as far as providing, let's say, a step up to certain residents in our community. And there's lots of grants out there and philanthropic organizations that have been doing pilot programs. And so this is part of that process, to study the issue and figure out what, for one thing, what segment of the population that we would like to target, and then beyond that, taking a look at what we can do from a city standpoint to ultimately go through and get funding, whether or not it's part of our funding. This is a bigger question from a city standpoint. We had several special orders today, one for Filipino American History Month, and November is also Picture Book Month. So, for all those young readers out there who love our picture books at the library, definitely it was always a lot of fun to read at the library and go there. And then our state senator Aisha Wahab came by to do a legislative update, and then we spent several hours looking at the preferred concept for Lakewood Park renovation. So, the city has a 20-year plan to renovate all of our existing parks. And so, that to me is fantastic that finally we're getting to Lakewood Park. And we had ended up hearing lots of discussion, speaking on both sides of the main issue, which is whether or not it should have artificial turf or natural grass. And council finally chose natural grass. And we did some minor tweaks of giving city direction to look at, are there ways to improve that field? Because we have a lot of natural grass fields where I'll say there are let's say issues as far as that's concerned, for the amount of let's say divots and rocks and gopher issues. So that was one part of the discussion with city staff of, are there ways that we can actually improve our fields if they're natural grass? And then we also added as part of design future batting cages, and ultimately it's like those are softball, baseball, and cricket batting cages, and so we'll see how quickly staff finalizes that, but it's good to finally finalize that design in preparation for what will also be the Lakewood Branch Library there, and then a brand new park, or a fully renovated park. So good to see what council was able to do as far as that's concerned. We were supposed to take a look at art and private development. So it's city line, so they're looking at approving final art at the corner of Washington and Murphy. Ultimately, we ended up postponing that because we'd already went to 12:30 a.m. Before we just covering the presentations, the public comment, and ultimately getting to the Lakewood Lakewood Park renovations approval. So it took a long evening, but we'll postpone that artwork until I think until our next big meeting, which is I think the 24th. Maybe that's right. No, something of that nature. I think it's about the 24th of November, 14th of November. Anyway. Last Wednesday, of course, the House finally voted for a new speaker, Mike Johnson. And so he was named after lots of turmoil at the House level. But, they first voted out the previous speaker, California Republican Kevin McCarthy. And so that happened about 3 weeks ago now. And it took them quite a bit of back and forth before they finally chose their new speaker, and several failed attempts at choosing their speaker. So hopefully they can get back to business and move forward as far as that's concerned. And then last Sunday, we had our Halloween pet parade in downtown. So I just want to thank the Duo Project for continuing to operate our pet parade. Yeah, I was Mayor Wonka as usual, kind of leading off the way. And it's great to have, so many pets and people dressed up and families dressed up to celebrate Halloween. I think that's, been one of the fun things as far as seeing that effort revived within the city. And happy to see so many happy to see so many smiling families and faces out there, either being part of the parade or on the sidelines. So a great day, and I think that event just keeps getting better every year. This week has been a little bit slower. We actually didn't have any council meetings, but I've been meeting with residents. I took a tour of Moffett Park. So been busy as far as trying to figure out kind of next steps for Moffett, as well as, dealing with all the backlog of resident requests and all that. Tuesday, of course, was Halloween, so I hope you had lots of happy trick-or-treaters at your homes. Sunnyvale was actually ranked one of the top 25 safest places to trick-or-treat around the nation. So, I think that says a lot to, where we rank in public safety on a year-by-year basis. We were number 22 nationally, and we were number 5 in California. So I think, there were a lot of happy, happy trick-or-treaters that came to our door on Tuesday night. And, always happy to see we have relatively good weather here, so that actually worked out fairly well. As I said previously, I won't be focusing on weekly COVID numbers anymore, unless things dramatically change. But, I think right now, COVID is still going through. I had it just last week going through our, community, but I think most people, it's seen as a light flu now, a cold, or, for me, it was just the sniffles and being tired. But especially, for those of you that can, I think flu shots and COVID shot boosters are finally available. There were some issues with availability for a while. And from a federal government standpoint, they relaunched the free at-home COVID tests, which I went through quite a few last week. But if you go to covidtest.gov, you can see how the instructions to enter your name and address, and the United States Postal Service will deliver it right to your door free of charge. So one of the great things of being part of that federal program and having that availability. It depends on what tests you get, but the orange eye health test that everybody is used to during COVID, that they just moved their headquarters here earlier to Sunnyvale earlier this year. They were actually in the middle of COVID. They were here. They moved their headquarters to San Jose for a little bit, and they just bought one of LinkedIn's buildings, and so they're moving their headquarters back to Sunnyvale. So that's good for us. I continue to do a lot of time advocating on our city's behalf at the county level, at the state and federal level. I was just talking to Congressman Khanna's staffers this week. And we'll talk about this in a minute, but his town hall for this weekend was postponed, so it will be virtual this time. But always multiple issues for me to kind of bring up when I'm getting a chance to talk to his staff and talking to our state electeds. Let me go ahead and announce some of the upcoming events. Besides Halloween this week was, of course, Dia de los Muertos. There's an ofrenda at the library until November 7th. So if you're celebrating Dia de los Muertos, or just want to go by and take a look, and so the holiday is a day to really pay honor to loved ones and ancestors who have passed. So their souls can be guided from the world of the living to the spirit world. And so you basically people set up ofrendas, basically installations, altars of food and photos and gifts. And so yes, you can still add to that, add to the ofrenda at the library. Make sure that it's a copy of a photo that you don't want back. So don't leave anything precious that you don't want to go missing. But definitely it's always good to see, and I just want to thank city staff for continuing to celebrate the different cultures and traditions of our residents. And we have a wide diversity of residents here in Sunnyvale, so that's always good. Ro Khanna's town hall, as I said before, was supposed to happen tomorrow, the 3rd at Columbia Middle School. That's been canceled. There were scheduling issues. Now, Congress is back in session trying to do work now that they finally have a speaker. But he'll be holding a virtual town hall this month sometime, and then he's looking at having it in Sunnyvale sometime, either next month or the month after. From a city standpoint, we're actually having a series of meetings on the next plays for our climate action playbook. So this Saturday, there's a youth workshop at City Hall from 10 a.m. to noon. Next Thursday morning, there's a business workshop from 8:30 a.m. to 10 a.m. at City Hall. And then there's a general workshop at City Hall on Saturday, December 2nd. So, there's lots of opportunities to talk about what next steps you would like to see the city undertake as far as our climate action playbook. This Sunday, of course, is daylight savings time. So we all get an extra hour of sleep. Unless you have a dog, of course, and then, they're up and wanting their normal, the normal run time. So time for walks and runs. But yeah, so it's this Sunday. I hear there's also supposed to be rain this Sunday, so it might be a perfect morning to sleep in. And then next Tuesday, we'll have there's Boba with a Cop. So Sunnyvale DPS will be at Mumo Tea. That's at the Big Five Plaza right there by Pete's, from 1 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. So please join and meet your favorite public safety officers. And then November 12th through the 18th is United Against Hate Week. It's a call for local civic action to stop hate and implicit bias. And so looking at ways to basically counter hate in our communities and restore respect and civil discourse to discussions. And so we'll be having 2 events, one of which is the 6 steps to responding to everyday bigotry. And so that will be at the Sunnyvale Public Library on Monday, November 13th from 5:30 p.m. to 7 p.m. And then we'll also have a virtual meeting on Thursday, November 16th at 7 p.m. And that will be countering anti-Semitism and Islamophobia at home in the shadows of a foreign crisis. And so, and council's received lots of emails over the last few weeks on all the things that are happening in Israel and Gaza. And, so this is, I think, will be a good discussion between several great speakers that we've had at past events, and looking forward to that event. And then on Wednesday, November 15th, Tipsy Putt. So Tipsy Putt is the indoor miniature golf and bar, pub food restaurant right across from Pacific Catch and Target. They will be having their grand opening. So Tipsy Putt will be having their grand opening on the 15th. And then Thanksgiving is only a week later on Thursday, November 23rd. So, and then holidays is less than a month. The holiday tree lighting is less than a month away. It is Saturday, December 2nd. So we're quickly getting into the holiday season, and life becomes even busier for all of us. As for upcoming council meetings, on Monday, we'll actually have our interviews for our boards and commissions. So that will be happening Monday night. And then our next council meeting is Tuesday. There it is, Tuesday, November 14th. I'll start off with a special order of the day for Small Business Saturday, as well as a proclamation, a resolution on Sunnyvale Stands United Against Hate Week. So that's part of United Against Hate week that's happening around the country. We'll have a presentation from Home First on their services and their operations around the county. Then we'll be looking to approve a general plan initiation request for a project on Wolf Road. And then we'll finally be looking at approving the art and private development at City Line that we postponed from our last meeting. Let's go ahead and get to our weekly questions. If you have a question or a comment, please add it to the comments here, and I'll try to get to it. Jim asked, can you provide an update on DPW 2011 evaluate feasibility of dog off-leash hours in select Sunnyvale parks? This is a study issue that was proposed. One of the things that we'll be doing from a council standpoint is, we have 3 big meetings next year, one of which is the strategic session in January. We'll have a study issue and budget supplement all-day meeting workshop in February, March. And then in May, we'll have a budget workshop. So those are 3 big all-day workshops that happen next year. And at that point, at the study issue workshop, council will be ranking dog off-leash hours and the operation as far as that's concerned. Summer asked, do you know what business will occupy the old Denny's on Matilda? It has been empty for quite some time. It was supposed to be a Denny's, and I think the owner is still hoping that Denny's will come back. I think there was some discussion on how much rent it would be to open in that building. So last I heard from city staff, they are still in discussion, but I think it's basically what it comes down to is how much rent the new building owner really wants. But that's what that space was set aside for future Denny's, and I'm hoping that it returns also. Robert asked previously, happy Friday, Mayor. Do you know what's happening at 435 North Matilda? It was a Wendy's restaurant, closed for over a year. So I posted about this about a week and a half ago. It's going to be a Taco Bell. It'll be our 5th Taco Bell here in Sunnyvale. So there's already one on El Camino Road, Wolf Road, Hollenbeck, and Tasman. So it'll be our 5th Taco Bell. And definitely the facade is taking shape now, and they've been doing interior work for a while, but the exterior is now becoming more recognizable as the Taco Bell, and the branding has actually gone on. Amon asked, when is the Taco Bell opening? It's still probably a month or so away. They're still doing interior work, but it's getting closer. Probably by the end of the year, you'll see it open. Diane and a few others ask, is it going to be a regular Taco Bell or a Taco Bell cantina like they got at Oak Ridge Mall, with drinks, with alcohol, or without, and a more extended menu including vegan? I think it's going to be a regular Taco Bell. The Taco Bell cantina design has special branding, and I haven't seen any of that at the new building, but I'm hoping that it'll be that mixed model or that kind of upscale model from a certain standpoint. I think it's a great location to bring in a lot of people, and right near lots of residences and businesses, so in very prominent location in Sunnyvale. So we'll see what happens, but at least as far as I know right now, it's going to be just a regular Taco Bell. Jesus asked, what's going to happen to the Fry's Electronics? That's a big lot. Yeah, you heard just this week that the old Fry's in Campbell So that is actually, I think it was Campbell. Yeah, the Campbell one is going to become housing. There's still no definite plan for our fries, but as far as I've heard, it's going to be staging for Applied Materials new R&D campus. So no big changes as far as that's concerned anytime soon. Um, Eric asked, when is Tipsy Putt opening? That's happening November 15th with a ribbon cutting. They'll be doing, I think, a soft open just before that, but the official opening is on the 15th. Tina asked previously, will under the arch be a pedestrian walkway for cars? And so this is right near the Redwood Square. So you see about the 50-foot arch that's around that kind of goes through that City Line project. So as you're going down TAFE, as you're going down Francis from the Caltrain station, it goes between the two office buildings, and then there's a big arch that will lead you into Redwood Square. As far as that big arch is concerned, it's also supposed to be a pedestrian zone. And Rick asked previously what other retail and restaurants are opening at City Line. So Tipsy Putt will be first later this November. Yoga Six Studio will be open up most likely in December. And then there's other restaurants opening early next year, they think. Melt is a grilled cheese restaurant, and Tiazi is a boba shop. So looking forward to all those. Let's see if I have any additional comments or questions. Let's see. Don't see anything. Maple Tree Inn asked, I saw there are multiple hotels on the planning stages. Can you give us an update on any of those developments? So the old Sheraton, which is right at the corner of 237 and Matilda, it's under construction. So it should be opening up, I think, in the first part of 2024. So it'll be happening in the first part of next year. I know that there's another hotel that they're moving forward slowly, right near Lawrence Expressway and 101, and that's right there next to Fault Line Brewery. So yeah, there are several. Those two are the only two hotels that I know that one's active under construction and one that is slowly, going on in the background as far as that's concerned. That looks like all of my questions as far as this week. Or you can always email me at council@larryklein.com if you have a question, and I'll bring it up in an upcoming meeting. Let's go ahead and wrap up. Thank you for joining me again this week. We live in interesting times and new issues come up almost every day, but I want you to know that no matter what challenges we face them together. I'm proud of Sunnyvale and how residents have always responded to the challenges the last few years. And I'm just thankful for everyone who helps out in our community, showing their generosity, showing their kindness. Your actions and your attitude really do make a difference. Thank you for joining me and continuing to join me for these weekly sessions. Sunnyvale will emerge from this as a stronger community. We're in this together, and we will get through this together. Thanks for listening. Have a great weekend. Stay dry. Goodbye.